This is the Begin Within podcast, where we believe real, lasting health and fitness requires you to start inside before you work out. I'm your host, Nate Slegger, and I'm here to show you behind the scenes of fitness. You already know exercise is good for you, but what about all the other things in life that affect your fitness? If you're looking for extra motivation to get started or to make sure you keep going, this is the place for you.
Produced by BeginWithin.fit.
Improving health is about so much more than just losing weight. But I realize weight loss might be the goal that brought you here to the Begin Within podcast. That's why I wrote my latest book, 5 Ways to Stop Wrecking Weight Loss, to reveal the 5 areas that I see are most overlooked by the people that I work with who want to lose weight. Each one of the chapters in this free ebook describes that specific area that you need to focus on to improve your health and get great permanent results. And it also links back here to episodes of the podcast where we've had experts on the show talking about that specific area. So you can benefit from those previous episodes while you're learning about how to maximize the results that you're after. You can get your free copy of my ebook, 5 Ways to Stop Wrecking Weight Loss, by going to beginwithin.fit/ebook or going to the link in the show notes. Now is a great time to do a little multitasking while you're listening to the start of this episode. Head over to grab your free copy of my book, 5 Ways to Stop Wrecking Weight Loss. If you missed the URL, here it is again, beginwithin.fit/ebook. Or there is a link in the show notes for you. Grab your copy, and now let's get on with today's episode. Tomorrow, Friday, February 13th, is National Quitters Day. If you're listening to this at the time of its release, yes, it's the second Friday of 2023, and it is indeed National Quitters Day. Why? Why is it National Quitters Day? Well, it goes back to the fact that at the beginning of the year, people are feeling super motivated and they take on some really big, complex, difficult resolutions. They resolve to do some things that are really difficult, and usually they revolve around improving health, right? Some fitness, some diet, some weight loss type of goal. And the second Friday of the year is Quitters Day, set aside to recognize those who set goals for the new year and failed to achieve them. Researchers have found that people quit their resolution for the year by the second Friday of January. Isn't that wild? It blows me away. But that's all those facts there are from nationaltoday.com. National Quitters Day here. And even if you're not listening to this at the time of its release, this information, what I want to share with you today, is going to be super valuable for you any time of the year. But I thought it would be interesting to just talk a little bit about quitting here on National Quitters Day. And of course, there's a lot of different things, different directions that we could go, different things that we could say about National Quitters Day, and about quitting in general. But when it comes to health, when it comes to fitness, I know that's what we're here to talk about on the Begin Within podcast. What I wanted to do is take some time today to talk about the idea of quitting. I want to set you up so that you, when it comes to health improvement anyway, and when it comes to the things that you're doing to try to improve your health and fitness and your wellness, including weight loss, if that's a goal that you have, I want to set you up so that you never quit again. Wouldn't that be awesome? That you never quit again. And here's the key. In order for any of us to do that, in order for any of us to get into a situation with our health and our wellness where quitting isn't an option. And I'll say this, it's not about motivation, right? I'm so motivated. Quitting isn't an option. And it's not about always having in mind the horrible results that will come from not focusing on it, right? I've done that in the past, even as a salesperson, had those conversations with people, and people's like, quitting's not an option. Why? Because if I don't do this, I'm going to be diagnosed with diabetes. I'm going to die before, the long life that I potentially could have is over. Those types of things, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about getting into this motivated place where like quitting's not an option. I'm talking about changing the way we approach this whole process. I am talking about viewing this process in a way in which quitting is impossible. Quitting, it's not an option because there's just no way to quit at it. There's no way to quit. And here's the key. Here's the key to shifting that perspective. What we have found, and this is what we teach at Begin Within. This is what we preach at Begin Within to those that are working with us, is that there's no way to quit when you are focused on growing as a person in this process, when you're focusing on personal growth, when you're focused on learning, when you're focused on changing your perspective. Well, there's no way to quit, because the farther along you go, your perspective automatically changes. You learn regardless, and that is our focus when it comes to getting healthier. On top of that, I want you to picture this, and we've talked about this before, and I'll send you back to some of these episodes as well at the conclusion of this conversation to go check these out. But we've talked about the healthier spectrum, right? We've talked about that before, and that's something that we absolutely have to incorporate into this process, is realizing that there is a spectrum of healthier. We are all on it. We're on it every minute of every day. We're on it every hour of every day. We're on it every day of every week of every month of every year, right? Where am I on the healthier spectrum? Am I moving toward healthier, or am I moving toward less healthy? And just because I'm moving toward less healthy, or I made a decision that might be less healthy, or this week was less healthy, does not mean that I'm not in the process anymore. I'm on that spectrum somewhere, that continuum somewhere at all times. There's no way to take myself off of it. I can't all of a sudden say like health isn't a factor in my life, so I'm going to quit. I'm not going to try anymore, because health is always there. We're always making decisions that are more healthy or less healthy. And when we start really understanding how that spectrum, the healthier spectrum, applies in our life, then we realize that there's no way to quit. There's no way to quit. We can always take a step toward healthier. No matter where we are, no matter how sick or how healthy we are, we can always move toward healthier. Even if we've taken a few steps toward less healthy recently, it doesn't mean the next day we can't wake up and decide to move in a healthier direction, move toward healthier. And when we have that perspective, obstacles, setbacks, we just see them as challenges. And challenges are things that we can learn from. We don't say, I'm going to give up, I'm going to quit trying. Sometimes it's just a break. Sometimes we just take a break from putting all this effort into improving health. But we know, at the end of this break, I'm going to be ready to go. I'm going to get back to normal again, which is trying to move in a healthier direction. It allows us as well to have some fun once in a while. I've talked about that before. That's something that I am big on in my life, is having some fun once in a while. Food can be fun, and sometimes it is a less healthy food that is more fun. Whatever reason that is, maybe it's because of the happy memories that are associated with that, right? We didn't choose that. Those memories got associated with that less healthy food, and so when we have it, we have those feelings, those nostalgic, good, comforting feelings when we have that food that might be less healthy than some other food, right? But honestly, there's probably other foods that are even less healthy, or quantities of those same foods that would be less healthy for us. It doesn't mean that we have to go to those lengths. You see what I'm saying? When we start viewing this continuum, this spectrum idea, less healthy to healthier, right? We never are off that line. We're always somewhere on it, no matter what. And here's the thing. Even if we have a day that is just like, oh, I was so unhealthy, I can't believe I did that. And that leads to another day, or maybe leads to a week or two or a month or two, or maybe let's just say even a year or longer, where we're just like, man, I would just one less healthy decision after another. We can always go back to normal with one decision. Normal being moving in a healthier direction. It's not about all or nothing. It's just about doing something. It's about doing something now that moves you in a healthier direction. And I use that word normal now a couple times, right? It's about slowly shifting what is normal for you. What is normal, for example, when it comes to eating? You're shifting normal closer to eating in a way that helps your body to feel better, to be healthier, to have more energy. And I'm talking about, in this case, with eating, food quantity and food quality. We could manipulate those two variables to move in a healthier direction. See? So again, even if we have something less healthy, it doesn't mean we have to have a whole ton of it. And if we had a whole ton of it last time, and here it is today, I'm eating it again, maybe I have a little less of it today. And that is a healthier decision. See, when we start to change our perspective about it, quitting, it's not even possible. It's not possible to quit. It just isn't. It's about analyzing different areas of your life as well. I've been talking about food a lot. It's not just about food, because there are multiple areas of life that contribute toward you and me being healthier versions of ourselves. So what we do with this process is pick some of the low-hanging fruit. And what I mean by that is find the smallest adjustments you can make in order to get the biggest return on your investment of focus and energy. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with food. Maybe food, just let it sit, and maybe it's sleep. Maybe with sleep, you can find a way to move in a healthier direction. Maybe it's with hydration. Maybe it's with movement. Maybe it's with your relationship with yourself. Maybe your connections with others. Maybe it's about nature. Maybe it's about education, right? Growing as an individual, improving the health of your mind through some education. There are so many different ways to improve in our health. And what I hope that you're starting to see is that working on improving health is working on becoming better. It's working on becoming better, and it's working on becoming someone who has a better life, someone who enjoys their life more fully, truly enjoys their life more fully. So will we ever stop? Will we ever quit trying to improve life? Will we ever quit trying to alleviate pain? Trying to experience things that we enjoy more fully? We're not going to quit that stuff. How could we ever say, I quit? And if that's the case, how could we quit on improving our health? Here's the interesting thing along with this conversation is culturally we have this unspoken rule. Maybe it's not always unspoken. I'm about to speak it right now. We have this rule that the default, setting for our lives is unhealthy. We have this unspoken rule that if you're doing what's normal, well, that means you're probably moving in an unhealthy direction. They're probably making less healthy decisions. It's this rule that just is out there in our culture. And along with it comes things like this. That means if that's the default, that means that if you want to make changes, if you want to make improvement, it's hard. It's difficult. You're either on the wagon or you're not. You're either trying or you're not. You're either eating veggies or you're not, right? And doing things like that, eating veggies, preparing our own food, moving our bodies in a meaningful and in a regular, consistent way, those things are all viewed as abnormal, uphill battles. That's not the default, right? If you just wake up and be you, you'll be doing less healthy things. Healthier is work. Healthier is hard. Healthier is difficult. Healthier takes a lot of effort. And here's the thing, and I alluded to this earlier. This is about becoming better versions of ourselves, right? And I personally believe that a large part of why you and I are here on this earth is to become better, to become better versions of ourselves. And of course, that includes health. That includes our health. Absolutely. And I also believe if you're doing anything that feels really difficult and really miserable, then you're doing something wrong. You should stop doing it that way. Maybe not quit altogether on the end result that you thought would come from doing that thing that feels hard and miserable, but at least quit doing it that way. Here's another fact. This is about change. It's about motivation. It's about how our brains work. If you want to do something consistently, it has to feel good. It absolutely has to feel good to you. There has to be a reward for doing it. Otherwise, why would you keep doing it? So if it feels hard, like something that you want to quit, like whatever path that you've chosen to try to improve your health, if it feels heavy, it feels hard, you are thinking about quitting, then you got to adjust your mindset. We have to change the way we're thinking about the process if we're thinking about quitting it. Because if we approach the process from the right perspective, then quitting, it doesn't exist. There's no way to quit. Just like there's just no way to quit trying to enjoy life. We default to that. You and I, we default to trying to enjoy life, and a large part of that is our health. Now, again, like I said, that flies in the face of a lot of cultural norms, and that's probably a conversation for another time, but we can set our culture. We choose our environment. You and I choose it to a great extent, right? I realize there are some things that we can't choose, but there are a lot of things that are within the scope of our control and our choices. And some of that influence that we have from outside forces is within our control. We can make adjustments to the environment around us, usually our immediate environment, in order to make this process easier, so that it doesn't feel so difficult, so that it doesn't feel like such an uphill battle. Now, I will say this, it does take effort. It does take effort to make improvement, but it also takes effort not to make improvement. No matter what it is, it's going to take effort, right? Think about it this way. Staying up late watching Netflix, drinking alcohol, and snacking, that takes some effort. Sometimes, right? Sometimes you have to push through. Oh, I'm feeling tired. Oh, I got my second win. Now I can finish watching this show, or I can watch the next show. And the next morning, when you have to drag yourself out of bed, feeling terrible, feeling stressed out about getting ready for work and getting there on time, pretending to smile all day because you're really feeling really tired and exhausted from staying up so late the night before, that takes effort, right? You can't tell me that's easy. You just can't, right? Or going to the doctor or worrying about going to the doctor. That takes effort. Having heartburn, indigestion, etc., all the things that the pink stuff's supposed to help you with, from eating foods that are less healthy over and over again, feeling uncomfortable, having to run to the bathroom or take that medication or go find some medication because you're feeling so uncomfortable. Guess what? That takes effort, right? Absolutely, that takes effort. Not being able to fall asleep at night, right? Tossing and turning, that takes effort. That takes effort. I'd much rather fall asleep because I move my body and I did things that contribute to good sleep. more healthy things instead of less healthy things. Tossing and turning, but that takes effort, right? Having pain from inflammation and a lack of movement, that takes effort too, right? You get the point. Enough, right? You're like, Nate, stop already. I get the picture. I know you get the picture. I know that's why you're here. But why are we accepting the effort that it takes to be less healthy as normal? That's the question. Why is that normal? Why is that the default? Why is that the thing that everyone understands, right? Oh, my body hurts. Oh, this, I'm uncomfortable. Oh, I didn't sleep good. Oh, yeah, sorry, me too. Why is that the normal thing? Why is making healthier choices abnormal? And I get it. I get that you understand it. I know that's why you're here with me. You're here because you and I agree on this, that healthy actually takes less effort and it feels better. That's why we're here. That's the way it should be. And so when it is that way, when we appreciate that, then quitting, it's just not possible anymore for us. Improving health is about improving our life. And we all want to do that. That's our default. Now, if you are observing National Quitters Day, you're like, the thing I started trying to do on January 1st, I got to stop it. It's not aligning with what you're talking about, Nate. It doesn't line up. It's not working for me. Then how about this? Quit. Quit the program, quit the diet, quit the insane workout plan that feels burdensome, but you can't quit something without starting something else, right? If you stop doing something, it's not just going to be a vacuum, right? Now I have nothing. No, there's going to be something in its place. There's going to be a new path forward from that point, right? So quit the thing that feels burdensome, but start doing this. Start cultivating a new view of improving health. Start celebrating forward progress, no matter how small the steps are. Start looking at setbacks just as challenges that give you an opportunity to learn about yourself and then make adjustments. Even those setbacks can help you to improve your approach, improve your health, and improve your life. Start looking at the main areas of life that affect how you're feeling and break down improvement in that area into small steps. Look at those main areas of life, the ones that are affecting how you're feeling the most, even if it's causing a negative feeling. I picked on sleep a little bit here. Maybe it's that. I just haven't been sleeping good. Man, if I could get some good sleep, it makes such a difference. Well, break that down into small steps, tiny actions that you can take, and commit to taking one. Start that process, and then take another one, and then another one, and then another one. Try improving in that area. Assess how it's going. Reflect on what you've learned. Should I keep doing this or shouldn't I? Should I try taking a different step? Would that be a little more effective? And then try again, right? It's a very simple process and very hard to quit once we get going. Most of all, don't give up hope. Don't give up hope that improvement is possible. I said this earlier, I'll say it again. Wherever you're at today, whatever situation you find yourself in, even if you are a health model, you can still improve. You could still move toward healthier. And even if you're feeling miserable, you're at the other end of the spectrum, improvement is possible. Steps toward healthier are there, ready for you to take them. Figure out what they are and take action. Take a step forward. I hope this conversation was beneficial for you. I hope that it starts to change your mindset a little bit. If you're thinking, I'm just going to quit. I'm going to quit trying. I'm just going to quit. I'm going to give up the health thing and I'm just going to go back to normal. I'm going to go back to the default. I hope that changing the perspective a little bit on this was good. I hope it was good for you. I hope it leaves you in a little bit better place. If the conversation was beneficial, you want to dig a little bit deeper, there are a few episodes here that I would send you to here on the Begin Within podcast. Recently, we had episode 85. That one was called Stop the Insanity. You could go to that episode and listen to some more. Episode 77 was How to Create Healthy Habits Now. And episode 44, Why You Need to Ditch the All or Nothing Mindset. You can go back to those episodes, 85, 77, and 44. Whatever you're doing, if you still have time to listen, just go click on one of those other episodes in your podcast player and keep on rolling. Begin within and keep making progress. That's what we're all about here. If you would be so kind, and if you've heard me ask this before and you haven't done it, please do it. Please rate and review the podcast in your podcast player. It helps me so much to be able to get this podcast into the ears of others who will benefit, others who are looking for it right now. Please rate and review the podcast. And then if you would, I would also love this. Take a screenshot just of your phone as you're listening to it and put it in your stories and tag me in those stories, Nate Slager, so that I can celebrate you and cheer you on in your process to get to the healthiest place that you've ever been. Continually making improvement by taking small steps. I want to thank you so much for listening, for being here with me on the Begin Within podcast. I will talk with you again very soon.